Open your phone right now and find a photo of yourself from 7 years ago. You probably remember the day it was taken. You can probably name the people you were with. Maybe you smile at it. Maybe you cringe. Either way, you'll have the same automatic thought everyone has when looking at an old photo of themselves. That's me. That's not actually true. The body in that photo no longer exists. The brain in that photo no longer exists. The memories in that photo are not the memories in your head right now. The personality in that photo is, by every measure science can take, the personality of a stranger. You aren't the same person. You haven't been for years. And what science has learned about how completely you replace yourself every decade of your life has quietly rewritten what we mean when we say you. Let's start with the body. In 2005, Swedish biologist Jonas Friesen at the Karolinska Institute did something nobody had been able to do before. He found a way to measure the age of a human cell. His method was strange. Above-ground nuclear weapons testing in the 1950s and 60s released huge amounts of carbon-14 into the atmosphere. Every plant absorbed it. Every animal ate the plants. Every human ate the animals. When a cell forms, it locks in the level of carbon-14 present in the atmosphere at that moment, like a tree ring. Friesen realized he could use this to read the exact age of any tissue in the body. So he did. What he found shocked even him. The cells in your stomach lining are about 5 days old. The cells lining your gut, 3 to 5 days. Your skin completely replaces itself every few weeks. The red blood cells in your veins right now were not in your body 4 months ago. Your liver cells, around 300 days. The cells in your bones, around 10 years. When you average it all together across the whole body, Friesen found that the typical adult is, on average, about 7 to 10 years old. You replace yourself, constantly, continuously, without your permission, without you noticing. The body that was photographed 7 years ago has been almost completely rebuilt, piece by piece, while you went about your life. But here's what's stranger. Not everything replaces. A few specific parts of you stay with you for life. The lens at the center of each of your eyes was formed in the womb and will never be renewed. The enamel on your teeth was finished by the time you were a child. Certain neurons deep in your cerebral cortex, neurons that are decades old, that you were born with, never divide. They die when you die. These are the few physical witnesses you have to your own past. The rest of your body has long since rotated out. And then there's the brain. The brain is the part most people assume stays the same. Everyone has heard that you stop making new neurons in adulthood. For most of the 20th century, this was the consensus. It is wrong. In 1998, a study published in Nature Medicine confirmed that a region of the brain called the hippocampus, the seat of memory and learning, produces new neurons throughout your life. Roughly 700 new neurons per day, according to subsequent estimates. Over 7 years, that's nearly 2 million new brain cells, all woven into the system that holds your memories and shapes how you think. The neurons that were storing your memory of your 10th birthday are not the same neurons holding that memory now. The connections between them, the synapses, turn over even faster. Most of your synapses are replaced multiple times a year. The wiring of your brain 7 years ago is not the wiring of your brain today. So if the body has been rebuilt and the brain has been rewired, what about you? What about the person inside? This is where it gets uncomfortable. In 2016, researchers at the University of Edinburgh published a study using one of the most extraordinary datasets in psychology. In 1947, a group of Scottish schoolchildren had been given a personality test at age 14. In 2012, 63 years later, the surviving participants, now in their 70s, were given the same test again. The researchers expected to find substantial continuity. A few quirks of personality surely would have lasted a lifetime. They didn't find that. They found almost no correlation. The 14-year-old and the 77-year-old in the same body with the same name were statistically two different people. It was as if the entire fabric of who they had been at 14 had been quietly replaced over the decades by a different fabric. Same body, same name, same paperwork, completely different person. And shorter studies have shown the same pattern at smaller scales. Across any 7-year stretch of adult life, personality traits shift measurably. Your sense of humor changes, your priorities change, your beliefs change, your taste in people, in food, in music, in everything. The person you were 7 years ago wouldn't agree with your current opinions about half of the things you now hold dear. And here's the part nobody talks about. The memories themselves aren't reliable either. Neuroscientist Karim Nader at McGill University spent years studying a process called memory reconsolidation. Every time you recall a memory, your brain doesn't pull a file from a vault. It rebuilds the memory from fragments, then writes it back to storage with whatever new context you happen to bring to it that day. This means every memory you have of 7 years ago has been rewritten dozens or hundreds of times by the slowly changing person remembering it. The you of 7 years ago, as remembered by you, is not the you who actually existed back then. It is a series of reconstructions, each version a little further from the original, edited by the person you have become. You don't have access to who you were. You have access to who you are now, narrating who you used to be. And here is what almost nobody understands. You are not a thing. You are a process. The you in that photo isn't gone the way an object is lost. It's gone the way a wave that broke on a beach is gone. Something that was briefly shaped that way, briefly held together by the same flow that's still moving through you now, briefly identifiable as you, and then continued on, becoming something else. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus said it 2,500 years ago, "You cannot step in the same river twice." He was talking about the world, but it turns out he was also talking about you. The river isn't just outside of you, it is you. Every 7 years or so, a new person quietly takes over your name, your job, your relationships, your bed. They inherit your memories, slightly rewritten. They inherit your face, gradually changed. They inherit your habits, slowly adjusted. And they walk forward as if nothing happened, because nothing ever did happen, all at once. It happened so slowly that the new person never noticed they had arrived. This is why, when you talk to old friends, the conversation sometimes feels strange. You're each catching up someone you used to know. Half the people they're remembering when they say your name are people who don't exist anymore, and half the people you remember in them are gone too. Tonight, when you look in the mirror, you're looking at someone the version of you from 7 years ago has never met. They built the life you're living. They made choices that shaped who you became. They are, in every way that matters, your parent, but they aren't here anymore. You're the one who got the life they were working toward. The least you can do is remember them well.